Everybody, I'm going to talk about very important topic. It's called the threats from terrorism. What are threats from terrorism, right? Terrorisms are criminals with a very different agenda from normal criminals, right? They are very different from normal criminals. Their aim is almost always to cause as much destruction as possible at a careful or choosing target. So they are always specific, and their crime rate is very assertive, and they can also hit their target at that particular moment. So I'm going to mention some points. The roles of everyone's in respect of terrorism or incident is to be vigilant to any suspicious activities, people's vehicles and package around their location. So you have to be vigilant of your surrounding, of every items that is in your surrounding. Then to achieve that one, members of the public must have a detailed knowledge of how terrorism operates in different parts of the world. I'm going to explain types of threats, right? Terrorism threats normally take one or more of four forms, right? How terrorism can operate. I'm going to mention 4 points, right? Like shooting is number 1, then bombing is also number 2, then you're talking about cyber attack also is point number 3, then you're talking about chemical and biological attack, that is 4 points. So I'm going to explain what their meaning also. In terms of shooting, that is in terrorism, can take many forms of groups of attacker, to convince on one target, such as the Westgate shopping mall, example in Africa, or lower gunmen or women attacking a school, such as frequent attack in the USA, you understand, or driving by shooting adopted by the provisional IRA. Then nowadays, terrorism shooting are often accompanied by suicide bomber. So we're talking about point number 2, which is called bombing. What is bombing in this context? It can also take place in many forms, like suicide bomber, which frequently occur in Iraq or Afghanistan or Pakistan, and now in Europe. Vehicle suicide bombing aim often seen in Iraq or Afghanistan and Pakistan. Vehicle bombing often left outside crowd premises, where the targets like crowd premises, and also time to explode at a particular time when they will cause the most dangerous or damage and casualty. And bomb in other form of transportation, such as aeroplane or bus or trains. So these are the ways by which bombing of terrorism can use this mechanism of bombing, like aeroplane, in bus, or like car bombing. So there are different measures they can use in bombing. So in early times of terrorism, used to leave bomb inside the building and escape from the bomb who was donated, right? Like telephone wire were also often given so that there was time to evacuate the areas before the bomb explode. So also in this context also, they can leave a bomb in a particular place, then they adjust the bomb with telephones or any device, then the bomb can also explode. Today, in a majority of cases, terrorism are a suicide mission. They wear their bomb cloth, or the bombs are in the vehicle, which are donated by the driver. When they are closer in certain location to inflict the maximum danger, really are any ways of wearing, giving off the front-coming bomb. Then what is cyber attack in this context? Cyber attack, these are attacks by terrorism against the computers, like computer network, and designed to cause as much as destruction as possible. Traditionally, computer hackers have been responsible for short-hand attack, but more frequently, terrorism are using them to cause destruction to the transportation and network or hospital or key infrastructure such as fuel, energy and water. What is biological attack? Chemical or biological attack in this context, these have not yet been used frequently by terrorism, but there is increasing evidence to suggest that some groups have the resources to mount short attack because it's very expensive to do chemical or biological attack. Governments have been responsible for chemical and biological attack than terrorist group, since the law and order has broken down in a large part of the North Africa, right, and the Middle East, and terrorists have had an access to short weapon. Then we're looking at who is at risk, that is in terrorism. Then who is at risk? This simply means that where terrorist threat is coming from, almost is impossible to predict. It's very unpredictable when terrorists are ready to execute their duty, or they want to execute their duty. There are now many groups using terrorist tactics to try to get their own way, that anyone could be involved. It could be your friend, someone you know, or also for years your colleagues, even a members of your own family also can be terrorists, right? Men and women, children, or anybody can be concerned in terrorist activities. Although most of these terrorist incidents reported in the past are committed by Muslims, there are many terrorists in the world who are not follower of Islam at all, right? So we're talking about religion, nationality, or color are by no means an indication of whether someone belongs to a terrorist or organization or not. Animal rights activities in different parts of the world are affiliated to any religion. So it doesn't mean that if somebody commits crime, it belongs to this particular religion. Then we're talking about organizing criminal gang in Africa, China, Japan, or other parts of the country are not connected to religious, but can be just as brutal as the ISIS, right? Looking at the drugs cartel in Peru or Colombia, they execute thousands of people each year, often by beheaded, inflicted terror in their way of maintaining control over the majority. Then we're looking at also, none should it be expected that only a group are involved in terrorism activities. There have been major shooting incidents in various parts of Europe and the US, which are carried out by individuals working alone and for their own purpose. Then also the days when it was easy to identify terrorist organization, fighting groups because of their uniform or nationality are no longer there, right? So now anyone could be an attacker. In many cases, personnel have been inserted to position around the wall as a sleeper. They are waiting for an order of the strike. At the most moment, Europe is being flooded with alleged refugees from many countries: Syria, Egypt, Libya, Pakistan, Bangladesh, several African countries. It has also already been provided among those alleged refugees are terrorists from organizations such as the ISIS, Al-Shabaab, Somalia, and other Al-Qaeda, and so on and so forth, that they are running from their country. So, in fact, at the last three of the terrorists responsibility for the recent shooting and bombing attack in Paris, France, known to have entered Europe as a refugee who initially landed on a Greek island. So this person that executes this bomb, this explosive in France also, he was also a refugee. The threats we face are constantly, and no one nowhere can consider safe anymore on the land, on the sea, or in the air. So nobody is confirmed safe now. Everyone is at a risk, so we have to be vigilant. Anyone can be in a potential threat, and it is the roles of everyone to identify the threats before they become real action. So this simply means that everybody should be vigilant about your surrounding, so you can able to identify a problem before it becomes to reality, right? I'm going to talk about how to select targets by terrorists. So targets are selected will depend on the objective of the attacker. Any terrorist will have an agenda. So this simply means that every terrorist will have an agenda. So I stop here.